If you are ready, I am super duper excited. If you don't know me, my name is LaShana West. I'm a business therapist, and I help entrepreneurs move the mental blocks that are stopping them from scaling in life and in business. And one thing that I know to be true is that mindset is the foundation of everything. So when you think about what I do as an entrepreneur, I literally help people reframe their mindset and literally be honest with themselves. Like, I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, sis, because when I sit down with people, whatever we're talking about, it's not like it's something that they didn't know. It's just something that they've been suppressing, something that they've been covering up and not being brutally honest with, right? And this is the thing. When you are honest with yourself, you're honest with the world. When you're honest with yourself, you are honest with the world. And today we're going to talk about the 5 ways your mind can play tricks on you, okay? So the first way is this: old pattern of behaviors. Old pattern of behaviors. When we do the things that we used to do in the past, we think that we are having a routine. We think that we are being consistent. False. That's enabling. If you're used to shrinking, then you're going to continue to shrink. If you're used to minimizing and kind of pushing things under the rug, then that's what you're going to continue to do. But the old patterns of behaviors will tell you, no, you're fine. Nothing's broke. We've always done it this way. Have you guys ever worked in corporate, right? And the goal for you in corporate is for the business to expand, the business to evolve, right? But you got that one person that be like, no, why are we switching it? And we already talked about it in the team meeting that the business is going into a new direction. The business is soaring. The business is evolving. But you got that one person stuck in their ways, old pattern of behavior that wants to do it the same. So that old pattern behavior, the number one way your mind plays tricks on you, you have to break the pattern. When I give you guys the limited belief or the negative thing, I'm also going to come back with how you can fix it. Because many times people give us all the juju, but they're not giving us how to address the issue. Okay? So give me a 1 if you guys understand. Number 1, old pattern of behavior. All right? Old pattern of behavior. Now, number 2, we think that playing it safe keeps us safe. Playing it safe enables us to stay in our comfort zone. We feel protected because we're playing it safe, right? Well, what does playing it safe mean? What kind of things are we doing when we play it safe? Not asking for the sale, not asking for the raise, not asking for what you want in life, in business, in relationships, letting yourself just get passed by, which I call shrinking, okay? We continue to shrink. When we play it safe, we shrink, and this is the thing. When we shrink, we're literally killing our soul slowly. Now, you might be like, oh, Shauna she being sarcastic. She being hella dramatic. Actually, I'm not. Because when you don't ask for what you want, you may not communicate it here, but you've thought about it here, you've communicated here, and your head is connected to your heart. And when you don't ask for what you want, that kind of stuff festers. That kind of stuff tends to get sticky and icky. And guess what happens when it starts to simmer and bubble up to the surface? Say what in the chat? I want to make sure that I'm not talking to myself. Guess what happens when all that junk tends to bubble up and rise to the surface? Say what in the chat? What y'all got for me? What does it do when it just bubbles up and rises to the surface? Thank you, Michael Q, LAU. Thank you, Alexis. That is when we go into crisis mode. That is when there's excessive anxiety, excessive depression, worry, fear, doubt, because we are not in alignment with our head and our heart. Your dreams, your aspirations, all the things that you want in life and business can happen. You are already a millionaire. You are already a billionaire. But the problem is your mind is thinking one thing and your heart is thinking another thing. She said an eruption. Exactly. Crisis. What does crisis mean to you? Because that is very subjective. For somebody, crisis is, for right now, my daughter, she's in crisis because something's going on with the air and we got a little sweat. She's in crisis. For someone else, that's like, girl, please, I don't even know what air is because we've never had air conditioning in the house, right? For someone else, not being able to pay your rent and being evicted and having to be in a homeless shelter is crisis. For someone else, that's not crisis because all they know is being displaced. Does that make sense? So when you shrink, your heart and your head is not connected and it will turn into crisis. And as someone said here, an eruption. Okay. The other thing about playing it safe, people think that playing it safe keeps you safe, but playing it safe keeps you stranded. And if you've ever been stranded, you already know you have nowhere to go because you're stranded. You have no resources. You don't have a vehicle so you can continue your movement. So your mind will play tricks on you saying, you know what, LaShana, you don't need to apply for that job. You're making 6 figures here. Everything's Gucci. You're able to pay your bills. You can travel when you want. Why would you apply for a job that's $150,000 that might have to have you to relocate to another state? Why would you do that, LaShana? Let's play safe, right? Do you guys know there was a 10-year period where me and my daughter and my family traveled to 4 to 5 different states because I relocated through my job. They would promote me to different states and roles, and we would pack up and dip in adios amigo. That's what you call freedom. That's what you call bravery. Some people have never left their city. They've lived in the same state, city all their lives. I'm not a hater, no disrespect, but the reason most people stay where they are is because they are in a comfort zone. They've been there all their lives. They don't know what's on the other side, so they assume staying where they are will keep them safe and protected. Makes sense? But that's false. Safe will keep you stranded. The comfort zone is the danger zone. Please put danger zone in the chat. Your comfort zone is the danger zone. What do I mean by that? Whenever I'm in a comfort zone, the devil, what they say, an idle playground is the devil's playground. Hold up, let me get it right. An idle mind is the devil's playground. So if I'm comfortable and I'm bored and I'm not being stretched, that's not good for me. So I literally had to leave a job that was very dependable, making great money. I was not stretching myself. And I asked several times, I used my words, hey, I'm not being maximized. You guys aren't being maximized. Is there something else that I can do? What about this role? Can I do this? There was no movement. So guess what I had to do, y'all? I had to say adios amigo. But this is the thing. It was hella scary. And actually, I'm still nervous and it's been 11 months. So how is it that I'm nervous, I'm fearful, but I still do it? But God, on the other side of fear, your impact is so much bigger. So as we're talking about the 5 ways your mind can play tricks on you, I want you to think about the thoughts that you've been telling yourself and the truth. Because there's the truth and what you've been telling yourself, and then something else in the middle, fill in the blank, right? So number one was old pattern of behaviors. Number two, playing it safe, thinking you'll stay safe, but honestly, you're gonna end up stranded with nowhere to go because your heart and your head, there's a disconnection. It's not an alignment. And like someone said, like she said, it is an eruption. You are going to be in crisis. Okay? Give me a 7 if you're ready for number 3. This one is going to be very meaty, and I want to make sure that you guys are ready for it. Give me a 7 and make sure you're sharing this out to someone who needs it. Okay? Give me a 7 if you guys are ready for it. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Number 3, you are confused about the root cause of your struggle. Okay? Thank you for sharing. You're confused about the root cause of your struggle. You are addressing one thing, which literally is taking you down a rabbit hole when you need to be addressing this thing. So let's just take lack of confidence, for example. I'm not confident. I don't really like to go live. I need to work on my confidence. I'm probably not confident because it's a new territory. I'm online. I don't really want to talk to the camera. That's why I'm not confident. Whenever you are addressing an issue, I need you to 10x the why. I'm not confident. Why not? I don't like the way I look. Why not? I was bullied in the past. Why was that? My parents were addicted to drugs and we didn't have many resources. Why is that? Their parents didn't have many resources and they repeated the cycle. Why is that? Does that make sense? So your lack of confidence does not come from you just not wanting to talk to the camera. Your lack of confidence is because you showed up on social media and you don't really want to go live because you're afraid of who's going to say what. That's not the problem. The problem is deeper. It's unresolved trauma. Because if your parents were addicted to drugs, more than likely there was a whole lot of tumultuous stuff going on in the home. I'm just giving y'all the cliff notes, right? So when you think you don't build trust and there's a disconnect in relationships because your ex cheated on you, let's 10x the why. I have trust issues in my relationship. Why? My ex cheated on me. Why? Because I always assume the worst and accuse them of doing different things. Why? Because that's what I seen growing up in my home. Why? Does that make sense, guys? So the block is thinking and addressing one root when that's not the root cause, and it puts you down a rabbit hole and you never address the root cause. Let that simmer in y'all soul real quick. And if you have not shared this with at least 5 people, please do so and comment done. Because at the end of the day, you have everything you need. You just have to be conscientious and aware of what you need so you can get what you need and do what you need to do. Because jumping on all these lives and buying these courses and going to these live events, that ain't going to fix your problem. That's not going to solve the issue. It takes inner work. It takes you literally being honest with yourself and saying, you know what? I need to go to therapy and address A, B, and C that occurred way back when. I need to go talk to a life coach so I can process why every time XYZ happens, I fight, I flight, I retreat, right? So here's the deal. When you're tracing the root cause, I'm going to talk about how these certain emotions and feelings may show up due to the other options. So when someone says, no, I'm good, when you ask for the sale, you may feel rejected. I get it. But guess what? everybody ain't for you. And no means next opportunity. So when someone tells me no, that gives me more fire. And I say thank you because they're not a good fit. They're not in alignment with what I have. Everyone has an appetite for a certain thing. Maybe they just weren't hungry for what you had on the plate. But here's the question. Who is hungry for it? Who does need it? So it's up to us to troubleshoot and do our market research, do our try, test, and tweak so we can assess what needs to be done. The blaming and the shaming, that stops today. So if someone tells you no because they don't want your offer, great job. Keep going. Challenge beliefs. Ever receive feedback from a client, feedback from a coach, feedback from a collaborator, whoever? That can start to make you feel that they're personalizing and targeting you. They're challenging your beliefs. They're challenging your thoughts. Here's the mindset shift. Feedback is your friend. Knowledge is power. So instead of assuming, wow, I don't really like her approach, it was very abrupt. Is it because they don't agree with what you have or they don't agree with your approach? Let's talk about it, y'all. We grown. There was a time when I struggled with accepting feedback to where it was on my PIP. Everybody know what a PIP is? A PIP, performance improvement plan. I was passionate about what I was doing. I loved the work that I was doing, right? Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. Feedback is your friend. It got to a point where I started soliciting feedback. Hey, any feedback for me? Hey, what did you think about this? Guess what that did for me, y'all? Let me know in the chat. What do you think it did for me when I was able to ask for feedback and beat them to the chase? I'm gonna just say that, even though I need to stop because that's being petty. Let me rewind. What do you think that did for me when I was able to ask for feedback and open myself up for communication to learn and grow? What did that do for me? And I just kind of gave you guys a hint. What do you think that did for me? Made you better, improve performance. Exactamundo. Executive VA. I already know, you already know the vibes. Y'all, it helped me to trailblaze my corporate America path. I went from being on the floor, a youth care worker working with youth, to program director, CEO. They called it administrative trainee at the time, but it's like a paid apprenticeship, full-blown learning plan that thousands of people applied to, and it was very, very competitive. I was able to get in there, and it literally blazed the trail of my corporate America journey by me being open to feedback. So if you are not, like I'm working with my daughter right now, listen, you do not need to be questioning authority. And it doesn't mean that you're shrinking. It doesn't mean that you're biting your tongue. It actually means that you're smart. Because if someone cares enough about you to provide feedback and support to you, you need to be nervous that they ain't saying nothing. Okay? So I'm going to move on to number 4. I had some more for you guys. If you want the full list of all of these things, you need to click, you need to grab my 6-figure blueprint on my website. 6-figure blueprint. Everything that I'm covering is on that because I did a masterclass. And if you're like, wow, she's speaking to me, make sure you click the link in my bio and schedule a complimentary clarity call with me, okay? So number 4, put a 4 in the chat if you are ready for number 4. Put a 4 in the chat if you are ready for number 4. I know I am. It allows you to elevate with your personal development from the corporate America. Yup, and yup. Do you know if I have 2 staff and one staff is excellent at what they do? They come to work, they do their job, and they're excellent at what they do, right? And then we got another staff who is not excellent at what they do. They do a good job, but they are hungry and they're asking for feedback and they're asking questions. I would be rooting for number two. The one is just okay, but super open to learning, super open for growth. The one that's asking questions, because it tells me that they have an expanded mind. They have a growth mind. And I'm not saying one is a know-it-all, but it's one thing just to do your job and do it well. It's another thing to do your job, try your best, and open for growth and learning, okay? So number 4, it's a mindset distortion. When you yearn to be around a certain environment and you like the glitz, you like the glam, you like the shiny objects, so you want to be connected, you spend all your money to connect with these, what they call it, inner circles, the whole 9. But guess what, y'all? When you're yearning to be around those kind of environments, they will not end up serving you. What do I mean by that? You will not get served and you cannot serve them. Go where you are celebrated and not tolerated. I used to be the one who want to be around the popular kids, want to be around all this and that. And guess what? Let's create your own table, or let's go to an environment that has a gap and they need your expertise, and you can go there and you can serve instead of being a fly on the wall. I don't know who I'm talking to, y'all. I came up with these 5 tips like an hour before I got on up here. I don't know who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to you, give me your 3. If I'm talking to you, give me a 3. But we have to start going where we are celebrated and not tolerated. Okay? Also, you probably done outgrew the nest that you're in right now, and it's time for you to look for a new environment, a new community. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm literally getting these downloads and I'm providing it for you. Okay? New community is what I'm hearing. New environment, new relationships, new collaborations, more growth, no more shrinking. No more just staying around because it's cool. No more just staying around because you know these people here. Remember earlier I talked about playing safe makes you think that you're safe, but it actually keeps you stranded because you don't really have any forward growth, any upward mobility, and you're stranded and stagnant. Okay? Number 5. Give me a 5 in the chat if you're ready for number 5. Number 5. Thank y'all for hanging out with me today. If you're here on the replay, #replay, and I want to hear from you too. Number 5, what we got? Number 5. Okay. Number 5. This is one of my favorites. Hello. You believe the lies and the distorted thoughts that imposter syndrome tells you. So, what is imposter syndrome, first of all? I'm so glad you asked. Imposter syndrome is the inner critic telling you that you're not enough, that you don't have the right to be in the seat that you're in, that everyone around you knows more than you. And at some point, everybody's going to find out that you're a fraud. The word distorted, if you look it up, a matter of fact, because I ain't finna be lying to y'all, let's go to Google. Let's ask the expert. My daughter said, don't be fooling with Google because Google don't know what to be talking about. But we're going to go to it today, okay? Distorted. Pulled or twisted out of shape, contorted. So if you see a contorted figure, it's combobulated, disjointed, out of shape, not in alignment, right? Giving a misleading or false account or impression, misrepresented. So imposter syndrome will tell you, LaShana, when you create that offer, accountability on demand, nobody really wants that. Nobody really needs help with their mindset. Nobody feels that they need support. They got it. They can build a business without any kind of mindset issues. So then I don't create accountability on demand. Imposter syndrome tells you, don't apply for that job. If you apply for that job, you're just going to be another name on the wall. What's the point? You're good where you're at. Imposter syndrome tells you, even though you have the job and you in the office, you at your desk, girl, I don't know what you think you're doing when you got this job, but you ain't gonna have it long. You're not gonna have that job long because they're gonna find out that you don't even really know what you're doing. And your teammate over here, she's way better than you. Your supervisor, you see that they never really talk to you. They don't even want you here. And what that does, it makes you start to think certain ways. It makes you start to believe the lies. It makes you start to second guess yourself. It makes you start to continue to be indecisive and not be certain in your thoughts and in your actions. You believe the lies and the distorted thoughts of imposter syndrome. So those are 5 ways that your mind can play tricks on you. Your mind is powerful. The words that you tell yourself come from the thoughts that you think. So how do we get over all this junk? I gave you guys intermittent tips in between, but in short, you have to have capacity for yourself in order to pour from a cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. If I got 5 people that want some water, they not really gonna get much. So I can either keep the rest for myself so I can be replenished, or I can give 5 people a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. They're still not getting their needs met, but I damn sure ain't getting mine met. Right? So you have to take care of yourself first. On the plane, all this stuff they be doing with the, you know what not, cover yourself first. Put your mask on first. Y'all know what they be doing. I can't even do it. It said, put your mask on first. Do your self-care first. Do your inner healing first. Set your boundaries. Say no. Say yes. You have to be full and pour from your overflow. Amen. Amen. And when you do that, you have more capacity for your mind to sit in good soil. But when you are all over the place, stressed out, anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, ain't worked out, ain't walked, you're not drinking your water, you got your mama on one phone, your wife on the other phone, it's too much going on. We want to retreat, we want to fight, we want to flight, or we want to start making up stuff that's not real. Give me a 7 if I'm talking to you. Give me a 7 if you like, oh my goodness, Father God. She came from my throat today. She literally came from my throat today. I see the 7s. So here's the deal. If you have not signed up for your ticket to AOD Live, click the link in my bio. Accountability on Demand Live. Literally, if you enjoy this, imagine balance, all this self-care, goodness, mindset stuff, business, how to build a business, how to build a framework, how to create content, how to build your value ladder, branding. What does your brand mean? Who are you? Are you really showing up as a person you really are? Are you showing up as a person as you think people want to see? 2 days of all of that goodness in Atlanta, Georgia, July 30th and 31st. I'm super excited. We only have 15 spots left. And I'm not saying that to scare y'all for scarcity. I'm literally keeping it a buck. I'm excited about it. But then it's also like, dang, should I have gotten the double capacity for the venue? So what that does, it tells me for year 3, we leveling up. All right. Lastly, if you would like to schedule a complimentary clarity call with me, you're going to go to my bio on Instagram, click on clarity call, or you can text the word mindset to 678. Let me put it in the chat right here. Text mindset to 678-336-7756. And you will get an automatic text back to your phone so you can have a complimentary clarity call with me. I had a long day today. I had 2 mini VIP days, a couple coaching sessions. I met with my amazing VA and team of volunteers for ALD Live. What else did I do? Had a couple phone calls. I haven't been able to rest at all. Oh, also worked out. On, that's not as bad. That trumps everything, okay? That trumps everything. You know why? Pour it into myself physically. I'm excited about that. Today's day 2, y'all. Alexis, you already know the vibes. Today's day 2. So I'm just like excited. Like I'm excited about this sweat coming on my nose. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sis is sweating. Okay? Period. So anyways, so excited about the growth. If you're in Fort Lauderdale, I think tickets are still on sale. Don't quote me on that, but check out the Boss Talk Expo. They might still be looking for volunteers. I should know that, but I believe it because I seen an email. Hello. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to continue to serve myself because I have it all day and it's 9:42. And in short, what I want to tell you guys is stop waiting on someone to save you. No one's going to save you. Hello. Oh, I'm on the billboard. What? Come on, pull up. Send me a video. I want to see this, sis. No one's coming to save you. No one is coming to rescue you. Everybody has their own stuff they're dealing with. There's stuff they got to work through. And if you're waiting on someone to come save you, you're going to be collecting dust on your ass. Okay? And honestly, you should be, because how can they save you if they can't save themselves? I don't know who I'm talking to. How can they save you if they can't save themselves? Okay? So I'm gonna get up off of here, and you guys have an amazing night. I hope this was helpful. If it was, share it on your story, tag me. I am super excited about this new season of growth, evolution, stretch, and alignment. Have a good night. Have a good night. Next time I'm gonna have my angles and whatnot together, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't like doing all this, but bottom line, y'all got this work. All right. Have an amazing night, guys. See if I can find my little click, you know what I'm saying? Bow. Bop. Okay, don't ask me what I'm doing. It's because I'm sleepy. Bye, y'all.